Absolutely, that'd be perfect. I don't know what I'd have to say. You figured it out. There were two of them tonight, in case you forgot. Brian Selznick was in the media center today. He's the one I talked about before, who's a puppeteer, an author, an illustrator, a screenwriter, all those things. We're going to learn a lot about him. Again, in a video that's showing in the Hall of Fame, you're going to see why he belongs in the Hall of Fame.
I thought it would be really great to one day make a story about the person who made this odd little movie, and it all kind of grew from there. I thought about the picture books that I did. I thought about what happens when you turn the page in a picture book, the way stories are told. Then I thought, what if I took parts of the text out and replaced them with images so that the book itself was filled with sequences of silent movies.
Now, in today's release of the 20th anniversary editions of Harry Potter, with all new cover art hand-drawn by award-winning illustrator Brian Selznick. Welcome!
Thank you so much. Thank you.
A lot of fun. They're so good, they are jumping off the shelves. So the covers show the entire story of Harry Potter essentially in a mural. Really awesome. How did you come up with this idea?
I started by realizing I wanted to have one story when you line up all 7 covers to try to cover the entire saga of Harry Potter and the battle between good and evil. So I just started drawing swirly lines and realized they looked like Nagini, the snake in the book.
I'm stepping through the door. How do you know my name? Where did you get this? Why would my key fit into your father's machine? Do you want to have an adventure?
Stop that child! Apprehend!
It's strawberry. I think it's a message from my father.
This is a treacherous place, do you understand? Watch your step.
It's Neverland and Oz and Treasure Island all wrapped into one. Are you sure about this? We could get into trouble. That's how you know it's an adventure.
My life was told me happy endings only happen in the movies.
The story's not over yet.
I can remember the exact moment I first opened up a Brian Selznick book. I was in 4th grade at the Youth Authors Conference, and they had an entire table of different books that we could buy, and I picked up this one, and as a future art educator, I opened the book and saw these beautiful, beautiful illustrations, pages and pages of almost flipbook animated book on a page. It really helped me visualize what I was reading. I would put a face to a name or a scene to the words, and I knew that I would have a future something in the arts. I really, really loved how detailed his drawings were. The amount of emotion he could get with just a graphite pencil was absolutely stunning. It made me breathless. And I made sure that I had every Brian Selznick book in the future. Wonderstruck, which had that dual point of view, really, really had an impact on me. Now, as I went into the arts and I took drawing class after drawing class, I applied to Warrensdorfer knowing that I would have that future impact on other artists in this school. And then I come to find out that he went here, and I was amazed. I was like, this is fate. This is where I'm meant to be. This is where future artists come from. And knowing that we as well have this really well supported, amazing arts program in the high school and beyond, I knew that the East Brunswick public school system is where future artists are made.
I am delighted to be part of East Brunswick High School honoring Brian Selznick. I have long time been a fan of his work, and it's great to be a part of honoring him for his unique creative abilities. He has a unique talent in putting together his drawing and his writing, as well as incorporating facts into some really creative, imaginative stories. Personally, I have enjoyed them myself and with my family, and I have particularly enjoyed sharing them with students over the 15 years I've been here in East Brunswick. So congratulations, and we're happy to honor you here.
It's just every day that Scorsese wants to make a movie out of your book, right? Please welcome Hall of Famer Brian Selznick.
Some advice, don't follow Michael Barkan. Unless you're wearing this suit. I've now lived away from East Brunswick about twice as long as I lived in it, but it's never been far from me physically or spiritually. My parents moved here in 1969. Mom? Yeah? Because my dad was looking for a place to live within a half hour of where he worked as a CPA. A real estate agent led them to the town, and as my mom says, they fell in love. The cul-de-sac I grew up on was filled with other kids my age, and my first two schools, McGinnis and Warnsdorfer, were blocks away. I benefited from what turned out to be a fantastic arts program in the public schools. I don't want to brag, but Mrs. Auer, my kindergarten teacher, wrote on my report card, Brian is a very good artist. So, I started early. Mr. Jones at Warnsdorfer, Ms. Feder at Churchill, and Mrs. Koppel at the high school all recognized my love of art and took me under their wings. This is what a public education produces. I did have one low point in my education when a high school guidance counselor gave me some not very good advice about college. She said I couldn't apply to schools in California because it was too far from my parents. And I would never get into the Rhode Island School of Design because it's the best art school in the country. Not going to California didn't seem like too much of a problem, but I really wanted to apply to RISD, and luckily I didn't let her bad advice stop me. And after 4 years in college, trying to not become a children's bookmaker, because that's what everyone had told me I should be, I succumbed and moved back to New Jersey and got a job at a children's bookstore in New York. I lived with my parents in East Brunswick and commuted to the Upper West Side. At night and on weekends, in my old bedroom, I worked on what would become my first book, The Houdini Box, and spent a lot of time researching the story at the East Brunswick Public Library, which I speak about in the current podcast from the library, Read, Watch, Listen, which you can all listen to. I never could have imagined all that was to come, all the ups and downs, the books, the movies, the things like that. But one thing that doesn't surprise me is that so many of my friendships from East Brunswick and my time in high school are still going strong. And I'm so happy to see so many of my childhood friends here tonight who came from Philly and Florida and Cincinnati and all over New Jersey. Thank you all for coming. And thank you to Alexia DeLuca for all her help and especially Jack Levitt and the entire East Brunswick Education Foundation. I'm very honored to be recognized alongside Danielle Blaylock, Marilyn Edge, Dr. Arvind Gopal, Lindsay Scappa, and Michael Barkan, of course. I want to thank my husband, David Serlin, for taking the bus to New Jersey with me so many times. Of course, to my sister and brother, and my mom and dad, Lynn and Roger Selznick. But mostly, I'd like to end by thanking the one person who really made today possible, their real estate agent. Thank you very much.
Now you know why we had so much fun this afternoon. It was great. Let's move on.